Hi again, everybody. My name is Greg Anderson, and this is the Good Timekeeping Show with Greg Anderson. Today, I'm going to do a transformation on this watch right here. Now, I decided to take a watch just like this and transform it a little bit months ago with a bracelet. This is a kind of a Chinese copy of Casio's combi bracelet, and it's worked out pretty well there. Then I also found a third-party kit to replace the bezel and bracelet with this metal, silver look here, and I really like that. And I got one more because what I want to do with this one is similar to what I did with a G-Shock Square a while ago, where I modified it to, I took off the bezel and bracelet and gave it this is kind of a combination bezel bracelet with that jelly look. Okay, so I wanted to try that with this, and I like it okay. So I thought, could I get something similar for this? Now, the problem with that was, as I looked around, see, this is the GW-6900, G as in Greg. So there was also the DW-6900, D as in David. So the DW-6900 is the original that's been around since the early 90s. And what I found out was that even though they really look very similar, I could not confirm that the bezel would be interchangeable between a DW-6900 and a GW-6900. So even though I found some kits that give it a similar look like this, for the DW-6900, I just couldn't find one for the GW-6900, and I have a GW-6900 here, so I wanted to stick with this. So instead, I went with a genuine Casio product. So here is a bezel for a version of the GW-6900. So I'm going to put that on there, and also the watch band. That's this one here that goes with it. So I'm going to put these onto this watch, make that swap, and see how that goes. For the most part, I haven't been too extreme with the modifications I've done on my G-Shock watches. I have a variety, and I've experimented some with some straps and some bracelets and stuff on these G-Shock Squares. But for the most part, I've left them just basically the way they were from the factory. I haven't gotten, really extreme on that. And so, I'm not going to get too extreme on this either. But, just got to go through a few motions to get the bezel off and the strap or the watch band. And so I'll start by taking out these 4 screws from the top and bottom extremes around the bezel. Working on top of this microfiber cloth so that if anything does fall off, it's not going to roll away and get lost. It'll just stop right here on this cloth. Okay, I'm going to hang on to those screws. I'll need them later. And then at this point, I'm just going to gently peel this bezel away. It kind of fits over these buttons a little bit, so but it is a flexible resin, so if I can just kind of gently work that out, I'll be able to get that off. Best if I start with one side and kind of pull that over the tops of the buttons. There you go. See how that's come loose now, and now basically there it goes. So the bezel is off, basically a brand new bezel. I'll save that in case I ever need that again. And it looks funny that way, doesn't it? So now I'm going to take off the watch band. And for that, I think I could just use a standard spring bar tool. And this is usually a lot easier than putting the new one on. So, and again, the new watch band doesn't come with the spring bars, so I'll just have to reuse the ones that I already have right here. This is the tricky part, just because you got to get down, kind of work it in deep within this little recessed area. And I want to be careful here because, it's all a lot of plastic here, and I don't want the pointed end of this spring bar tool to, to be scratching anything up or doing any damage in there. So I'll just be very careful about compressing this spring bar and slipping it into place. Okay, that appears to be in the right place, but you never can quite be sure. So I'm going to keep working it a little bit and see if I can make sure it's in there. And my final step to be confident that it is in there well is to kind of grab onto the rings around the spring bar and push them to the extremes on either side, just to make sure it's well seated in there where it's supposed to go. This looks pretty good. I'm just going to adjust this one just a little bit and make sure. And since it is transparent or translucent, you can kind of see it looks like the little rings are seated well on either end. So I'm just going to kind of give it a wiggle like this just to be sure. Doesn't look like it's coming loose. Now all I have to do is repeat the same thing here on the other side. All right, thanks to time lapse, you didn't have to watch every nitty-gritty moment of that, but looks like I've got it. I'm pretty confident as I try to twist this off. It feels like it's pretty good there. So what I'm going to do now is just give it a nice little polish, some of my fingerprints off here before I put on the new bezel, and it should just slip right on top if all goes well here. And I'll have to just kind of work the buttons on one side first. Okay, and then go over to the other side and slip that over the top of those buttons on this side. So far, so good. Looks like it's fit pretty well there. Now just replace the screws on each side, top and bottom, and we should be done. The screws don't have to be cranked on there really tight, just snug, don't over tighten them. We're dealing with a lot of plastic here, and snug is good enough. It's not going to come loose, but I'm not going to overdo it. All right, it's done, my friends. This is my version of a Casio GW-6900 with transparent or translucent bezel. And now this was originally meant as a replacement part for the GW-6900K-7. And you see it has little illustrations of whales all over the watch band. That's because this is part of their special collaboration with the International Cetacean Education and Research Center. And this is part of the Love the Sea and the Earth series of watches. Every year, it seems, Casio does a little collaboration. They do these collaborations. They've done some with this style of watch, also Frogman watches and just other watches. So this is the replacement. If you happen to have one of those and you needed a replacement bezel or watch band, that's why you would order this. So this is going to cost more for these parts than just kind of a generic, third-party something from AliExpress. But again, I went with this because I knew it would fit, because these are genuine Casio parts. And if this were an authentic version of the GW-6900K-7, then some of the lettering, the writing, and the colors here on the case would be different. So don't be fooled into thinking, oh, I've just created an exact replica of the GW-6903K7. No, I haven't done that, because this would be different. I think, the case itself, what you can see here, is also a little slightly different color. This is black, and I think it's like a deep, deep blue if you got the official version. Also, the back of the case would have a different design there, and you could actually get that piece from packparts.com. That's where I got the rest of this. But I decided not to, because I'm not trying to fool anyone into thinking that this is the Love the Sea and Earth watch. The other thing that the official Love the Sea and Earth watch would have is when you turn on the backlight with this button here, it would have a little bit of a shadow, a little logo, kind of a shadow on the screen with the backlight that would look like a whale or a dolphin or something like that. Because, of course, cetacean is the generic term referring to sea mammals, including whales and dolphins. Well, maybe exclusively whales and dolphins. Those are cetaceans. So that's the illustrations you have here. So this is the watch. I got the watch itself on, kind of a Black Friday special. So I saved some money there, and there was a coupon code. I got like 10% off from packparts.com. But normally, if you bought this bezel and this watch band kit from packparts.com, it'd be about $85 plus some shipping and tax involved with there. I saved a little bit, but so I'm into this thing with the sales and specials and coupons and stuff, about $150. Now, you might say, why didn't you just buy the official version, the GW-6900K-7? Well, the reason is it came out in the year 2019, so not that long ago. And when I first heard of it, of course, it cost quite a bit more than just your standard GW-6900. And I'm sure part of that is that, special proceeds going to, the International Cetacean Education and Research Center, and also limited edition. It's going to raise the price just, by that anyway. But back then I could get a standard GW-6900 for about $70, $75. And if I bought the official Love the Sea and the Earth watch, then that would cost over $200. So about 3 times the price, really. And so you can still find them today. You can find them used maybe for about $300. If you found one that was brand new, it would cost you $450 or more. So for about $150, I get the same look. And for me, this is fine. But again, I'm not going to try to deceive anyone into thinking that this is the Love the Sea and the Earth watch. If I had the Love the Sea and the Earth watch, it would also come with a special package, special box and a little booklet and stuff like that. So if you're in the market for the real GW-6900K-7, I would insist that they give you all the official box and documentation and everything, and you take a good look at it and make sure that all this writing on there matches the official stuff, because I wouldn't want anyone to create one of these and then try and sell it to you for a markup that is not correct. But for me, this does the trick. This is the look I wanted, and because it's genuine Casio parts, that makes me feel even more confident that I'm going to like this. This is what it looks like on my wrist. My wrist is about 7.5 inches, so not bad at all. I got the keeper right there, and see, let me get that just right. Okay, not bad. I think that'll be nice and comfortable and fun, and just a little bit of variety. This one looks great, very stock, but with the bracelet, and I like the bracelet look. This one looks great with, some people say the bling, all that shiny, chromy, shiny stuff on there. And then this one, they're all the same, they all started out the same. And here they are, a little bit of variety. I prefer the GW-6900 because it has the tough solar feature. So it charges itself and solar powered, and also multiband 6. So it will automatically set itself to the right time by receiving atomic clock information just over the air. And so that's why I prefer GW-6900 models over the DW-6900 models. And that's why I created this one-of-a-kind watch, unless you take my idea and you make one for yourself. So visit packparts.com and look for the GW-6903K-7. And you might find, these parts that you could use to modify a regular GW-6900 watch. All right, so that's all for now. I'm going to enjoy this. I know I am. So you may see this watch again on my wrist in upcoming videos, and I hope you will stay tuned for more videos here on the Good Timekeeping Show.